welcome to this video. My name is Maral, and today we're going to be talking about relationships and what they actually are. So in this video I'm going to bring in a perspective that you might have heard before, but with a slight twist to it. I'm going to go into a bit more detail and look at it in a slightly different way as well. So we've been told that, we've been taught and we've seen in our lives that relationships are based on, one person coming in someone else's life. And if you think about romantic relationships in particular, it's a love story that we've been taught. We see it in the movies. So someone comes into our life and that person completes us, right? This is what we've been taught, that this person comes in our life and they just complete us completely. They just complete who we are, complete our life, and it's the best thing ever, and it's happy ever after, and there's nothing more that you need, right? And these are the stories that we've watched, through movies. We see it in adverts. We see like romantic relationships, people together, and how happy they seem. We might even see it with some people around us. Okay, so it's this perfect love story that we've all been taught growing up in our lives, and it's still being fed, till this day. But the reality is that that's not actually the case. Even though most of us are still very much conditioned to believe this, and on a level that we're not even aware of. So, for example, if you think about love addictions, some kind of obsessions with the other person, even like codependency, right? Codependency, having a codependent relationship. This is part of it, and obviously there's trauma part of it, and from what we've experienced in our lives, and that's another big part of it. But another part of it is actually the story that we have believed all our lives, right? That there's this one person in our life, if it's not now, it's in the future, and they will complete us. Okay, so that is a complete lie, and it's an absolute lie. Okay, the truth is, we have, and let's talk specifically about romantic relationships, but also it can happen in different kinds of relationships. So it could happen mother and child, it could happen with, so siblings, it can happen in friendships and so on. But specifically romantic relationships, because this is where the love story has been, shown, and the belief that we have of it on some kind of level that we're not aware of. Well, we carry on with our lives in this way, and whenever someone comes in our lives, there's some kind of codependency that actually happens in these relationships, partly because of what we've been conditioned to believe that we're not aware of, but obviously because of trauma as well. Now, this is a complete lie, like I was saying, a complete lie. The truth is, we need other people in our lives, whether it is specific to romantic relationships or not, in order to teach us about ourselves. This is ultimately what relationships are, okay? So relationships are not ever to do with meeting someone, being with someone, and that person or that thing that you have completing you. No, relationships are all to do with you learning about yourself. And the way we learn about ourselves, the best, most effective way of learning about ourselves is having a mirror. And usually the best way can be having the other person there. So another person there, so whether it's in a relationship or not, helps us because it acts as a mirror to really get to know who we are. And I'd even say this even for things like counselling, life coaching or whatever, seeing someone about things that you're going through is actually how you learn about yourself. So we learn through experiences, right? This is how learning happens, is through experience. So whether it's like going to a shop, meeting someone, talking to someone, experiencing something, if you're studying something, you're working, you experience all this stuff and you learn in those ways, but without having another person there or something there, but especially someone else there as a mirror, it's really hard to learn about yourself. So relationships ultimately are here to teach us about ourselves, nothing to do with being in a love story and having that person complete us and complete our life, okay? It's ultimately about you. And ultimately, this is exactly what your soul has wanted you to do, okay? Our soul has decided, and this is for everyone, that when we're in this life, that we learn soul growth, that we expand within our soul, and we expand the fullest we can and clear lessons as much as we can, it's all about soul growth. And the way to do that is by experiencing things in this life, in our body, and through other people. But again, it all comes back to the learning within ourselves individually as we are, rather than being with someone else that's going to complete us, because that's never the answer and it never works like that. So before we have incarnated into this life, our soul has made contracts with people in our lives, okay? And this is everyone in our lives. So your mum, your dad, your brother, sister, child, parent, friends, all your friends, colleagues, okay, anyone you can think of, partner, anyone you can think of. You have made contracts with these people, with everyone around you, okay? And these soul contracts have been made in order for you to learn your life lessons. And your life lessons have to be learned, okay? And if they're not learned, then the pattern just continues. So you could just continue in a similar pattern. I've done a video on this earlier, on a similar pattern with different kinds of people, but it's still trying to learn the same pattern until your lessons are actually learned, because this is what your soul actually wants, okay? So even, and it does sound brutal, but really what's happening is that if you have, you know, and let's think of a difficult, maybe severe situation where you had, let's say, a very narcissistic parent growing up, okay, quite a narcissistic parent, and what's actually happened is that your soul and your parent's soul made this contract in saying that, okay, when we go to this life, when we go down to earth, I'm going to do all this stuff to trigger you, to make you feel unworthy, to make you feel powerless, okay? But remember, I'm doing that for the purpose for you to learn the lessons you need to learn, okay? And you are doing the same for your parent, okay? So you've made this contract with them, so you both have got this equal kind of relationship in a way. You made a contract with them and you're doing the same thing. You're saying, okay, you can do that, and when we go down, remember, I'm going to help you learn this other lesson of bringing light to your life, okay? Bringing more love for yourself, because my light is going to trigger you so much that you are going to feel, you're going to be so triggered that you're going to maybe, hopefully, eventually learn this complete self-love for yourself, okay? So there's always lessons. There's lessons for both of you, okay? This is why the contracts are made. Now, sometimes as part of these lessons, there might be what might feel like some kind of rewards, right? Some kind of treat, like someone comes into your life exactly the moment that you need them to come in, because, you know, you're feeling pretty rotten about yourself, you're going through something, and someone comes in to help you open yourself up to start healing something that you need to heal, okay? That happens as well, and that could be part of the contract too. It depends on the situation. But all these stuff that you're experiencing in your life is basically based on your soul contract. It's really important that you know, we know that, and that all this stuff has got nothing to do with being together with someone in that way, in that romantic way. It's about completing yourself individually as you are by yourself. This is why we need relationships. The ultimate goal here is for us, as in our human body, as a soul being in our human body, because that's how we learn. We have to be in our body. It's so important to learn to be in your body, because this is how the learning happens. But the ultimate goal is to learn all your life lessons, all the things that your soul wanted you to learn, which are based on many past lives and your ancestry line as well. And especially now, more than ever, this is the time that we are all really pushed to clear our karmas. And it depends on the person, but I have a sense that a lot of us are going to be clearing karmas, or we're going to get very, very close to it. So if you're finding nowadays, you know, maybe the last few years, maybe since COVID, because this is a big reason underlying COVID, why it actually happened, is that we are being pushed, encouraged more and more by the universe to learn our life lessons, to find the ultimate, and the ultimate being complete peace and love within ourselves, and complete completion within ourselves, which comes from the learning that we're doing through other people in our life, from our experiences. But also, ultimately, it's about being in your complete truth. So right now, and it has been for a while now, more and more people are stepping into their truth. Okay, your truth is your soul. It's your soul vibration. This is what we're stepping into more. But the more we clear stuff in our lives, the more we can step into our soul vibration and be in our true form. And that means we are going to be finding more and more that we already feel complete within ourselves, and that we don't need someone else to be there. And then what will happen then, it would be the ultimate from that, which will be if anyone comes into your life after you've learned everything you need to and cleared whatever you need to and healed and be more in your truth, then the person that comes into your life is not going to be a substitute for anything. No, they are going to be the cherry on the top. They're going to be the extra thing that is so nice and so lovely, but that because you're so complete now, you are always going to be willing to leave the relationship, and you're going to be okay with that because you already feel complete within yourself. And that is the healthy relationship. That's the kind of healthy relationship that we want to be aiming for. But the only way that happens is by learning the life lessons we need to learn within ourselves. Okay, until next time, take care.